We're going to continue on in chapter 2 with lesson 3, 2-3, the subtraction of integers. To subtract integers, we'll rewrite the subtraction problem as an addition problem. So we know that 10 minus 4 is 6. We know that from elementary school. And 10 plus negative 4 is also 6. So here we've subtracted a positive, and now we're going to add the opposite of this positive 4, which is a negative. So we're going to leave the first number unchanged. We're going to change the subtraction sign to addition, and we're going to add the opposite of the second number. So we're going to do these on a chart first, and then we'll do some freestyle. So 8 minus 5 would be the same as 8. Instead of subtracting, we're going to add the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. So we have more positive. We have 3 more positive. Negative 4 minus 10 would be negative 4. Instead of subtracting a positive, we're going to add negative 10. Now we have 14 negatives. The next problem, 6 minus negative 5, it's going to be 6. Instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive, and now we have 11 positives. Negative 11 minus negative 7 is 11. Instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive 7. So now you can see we have 4 more negatives. So remember, when we do our addition, which is there more of? In this case, it's positive. How many more? 3. These are the same signs. These are the same signs. Here we have different signs. We have more negatives. We have 4 more negatives. So now let's change this subtraction to addition. We're going to leave the first number, and we're going to add the opposite of positive 5, which would be negative 5. So we have negative 15. 8 minus 15 would be the same as 8 plus the opposite of 15, which would be negative 15. Now we have more negatives, like 7 more negatives. 6 minus negative 5 would be 6 plus, instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add positive 5, which is 11. Negative 4 minus negative 5 would be negative 4. Instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive. And now we have different signs. We have more positives, 1 more positive. So that's how we do this. If we have several numbers to work with, we're going to first change all the operations to addition. So when we look at this, we have negative 4, subtract 6, add negative 3, subtract 5, add 8. So now we're going to start with negative 4. Instead of subtracting a positive, we're going to add negative 6. We're adding negative 3. And now instead of subtracting a positive 5, we're going to add negative 5. And then we're going to add 8. If you remember when we were in addition, we said we would add the negatives together, add the positives together. Then we've got one of those simple little problems. So we've got 4 negatives, 6 negatives, that's 10. 3 more would be 13. 5 more would be 18 negatives plus 8. And now we're to our simple problem. Do we have more positive or negative? Negative, and how many more? 10. So let's look at this. Negative 8, subtract 10, add negative 6, subtract negative 1, add 4. So we have a subtraction, and we're going to change those to adding the opposite. Negative 8 plus negative 10 plus negative 6. Instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive, plus 4. Now, let's combine these negatives. We've got 18 and 6 would be 24 negatives and 5 positives. We have more negatives. How many more? 19. So these are the words that we would use in these translations for subtraction. The difference, this is the answer when you subtract, it's the difference. we know minus, we know subtract. Less than, less is subtraction, decreased by, subtracted from. Than and from are very important words to watch for. They are what we call reverse words, and they switch the order of the numbers when moving from words to algebra or mathematics. So we're going to translate these and then simplify. And we know what this means. This means to find the answer. The difference, that means we're going to subtract negative 52 minus 10. Now, we're going to change, instead of subtracting a positive, we're going to add a negative, and now we have 62 negatives. Negative 35 decreased by negative 6. So we're subtracting negative 6 from negative 35. So instead of subtracting a negative, we're going to add the opposite or a positive. And now we have more negatives, and it looks like, what, 29 negatives? The difference of negative 16 and 4, this means subtract. So negative 16 minus 4, instead of subtracting, we're going to add the opposite of 4, which would be negative 4. Now we got a bunch of negatives, about what, 20? Now we have from, which is one of these reverse words, which means that those two are going to be switched. And when we have a number, we're going to use a letter like X. So instead of 2 minus X, it's going to be X minus 2. And we can't simplify that. We're done. Subtract 10 from 7. From is the other reverse word. So these two are going to be switched. So instead of 10 minus 7, it's going to be 7 minus 10. And we can do that one. So instead of subtracting a positive, we're going to be adding a negative 10. So do we have more positive or negative? 3 more negatives. And again, we have this terminology from a number. We're going to use a variable for that. So we have 15 decreased by a number. 4 less than a number, and we know this is a reverse word, so it's not going to be 4 minus X, it's going to be X minus 4. 8 less a number. Less means subtract, and we don't have a reverse word, so this is going to be 8 minus X. And that takes us through subtraction.